But I'd like to introduce a man that I've come to know very well. He truly signifies what peace and nonviolence is, and the dreams of Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King. My friend, Mr. Peace, Kevin Swasey.
This is for you. Before any talk that I give, I let the audience know that every breath that I take today will be worth your time. So, I have a $20 bill here. $20 bill. Who would want a $20 bill? Just a quick show of hands. $20 bill? Okay. Same $20 bill. Anybody still want this $20 bill? Show hands. Everyone in the room, pretty much. Okay. How about now? Does anybody still want this $20 bill? Okay. How about now? Put some Scotch tape. Why is it that every hand in the room goes up when this $20 bill, no matter how dirty it is, crumpled, wrinkled, disproportionate, whatever it is, still wants that $20 bill? But then when sometimes it comes to human beings, we sometimes shun some people that may not fit this certain standard of ours. That if someone's dirty, or if someone's not the same skin color as us, or doesn't have the same build that we would like to see in someone, or the same religion, that we automatically push those people away. It was last summer sometime, and I was just about to pull out of the Starbucks parking lot near Arborland Mall. And as I was pulling out, I caught out of my peripheral, I caught a small glimpse of this man. He was sitting by this bus stop with his head down like this, and he had a bag of stuff right next to him, you know, all his belongings, and he had this sign up reading, "Need human kindness." And of course, me, being Mr. Peace, and the person I am, I pulled back into the spot. And before I went out to talk to this individual, I saw numerous people just walking by him, you know, or going out of their way to avoid any type of interaction with this guy. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, we're just so caught up in like the everyday rat race that we can't even take a couple minutes out of our day to show some love to someone in need. So I had extra leftovers from Olive Garden that night, and I decided to go and sit by this man. And we spent about an hour and a half talking, and I got to know him. His name was Jared, and he'd been just traveling around, getting food out of dumpsters, you know, kind of just really lost in terms of what he wants to do with his life. He had some unfortunate incidents that made him homeless. But for as much as I grew, or as much as I grew from empowering him, because I saw him get up and just, you know, just walk up with this new vigor about him. As much as I grew, you know, he grew just as much. That when we take that time to, you know, say hi to someone that might be homeless or that might be less fortunate than us, and bring them into our heart as one, it's that much more rewarding for them as well. You know, it goes both ways. This game that when you give love, you receive it too. There's this word in the South African culture, Ubuntu. So when someone says hello to you, you don't say, "Hi man, hey, what's up man, how's it going?" But instead of rather saying hello, you say Ubuntu. Hello, I see you. The response is, "I see you." And so many people today, so many people, whether it's in high schools or middle schools, the unpopular kid, the nerdy kid, some of your coworkers that are kind of the quote-unquote, you know, outcast of the office. I mean, that some of these people just want to be seen. And when I go up to the homeless person and I talk to this person, I'm like, you know, man, I see you. Or homeless woman, I'm like, I see you. I see us as equal. That says a lot. Now we're talking about Season for Nonviolence, the closing ceremony tonight, and we're talking about people like Martin Luther King Jr., Mahatma Gandhi, Daisaku Ikeda, peace activist, Japanese Buddhist, that I would put up there with those as well, Mother Teresa, those type of individuals. And all those people, all 4 of those individuals, and many others, they worked to make every circumstance in their life the source for advancement. So every area of their life, whether it's at work, at home, out on the street, up here talking, every area becomes an opportunity to help somebody. Every situation, you look for the good in someone else or how you can help someone in need. Some of these individuals, they embodied peace and nonviolence. They committed their entire lives. Many of them, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., they died for it. They were assassinated because they believed in that cause that much. They were willing to give their lives for it. Mahatma Gandhi, he was once asked what he thought of Western civilization, and his response was, "I think it would be a good idea." And he talked about, there was just a baby right here a second ago. He said, if we are to have real peace, we must begin with the children. And that's true, that we need to begin with our youth and empower our youth because they are the next generation. But I hear all these ads on TV, on the radio saying like, the children, we're the future, we are the future. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm the future too. Everyone's sitting here. It doesn't matter what age you are, we're all the future. We all have this responsibility to promote peace. Gandhi, he walked 116 miles. This is back in 1946 when there was violence that broke out in Calcutta between the Hindus and the Muslims. 4,000 people died, 11,000 injured. He walked 116 miles in the neighboring villages to bring about calm in this area. Daisaku Ikeda, I mentioned his name earlier, peace activist from Japan. He went to the UN General with 10 million signatures. 10 million signatures for the abolition of nuclear weapons. 10 million signatures would take up this entire stage. Just paper everywhere. He said that a great human revolution of just a single individual will help achieve a change in the destiny of society and further enable a change in the destiny of mankind. MLK, Martin Luther King Jr., he was one of the biggest advocates for nonviolence, and his approach was that we want nonviolence. If we want to end to this, then we don't bring about more violence, because then we're just perpetuating the problem. He was all about this nonviolent approach that we have to go in a peaceful manner. And he was saying that, on the one hand, I must attempt to change the soul of the individual so that societies may be changed. And on the other, I must attempt to change societies so that the individual soul has a chance. Mother Teresa, Mother T, as I like to call her sometimes, she was all pro-peace. She would never attend an anti-war rally. But if it was a pro-peace event, invite her. She'll be there. She'll be there front and center. Because she focused on what she wanted. She wants, if you want more peace or more whatever in your life, you focus on it. Where you shape your own world. And she talked about, very simple, that peace begins with a smile. Peace can just begin with a simple smile to see someone like that. And this is when it really hit me the other day, all right? That I was walking on campus in Ann Arbor, as I usually do. I'm just kind of like waving at everybody, sending them some love, peace, what's up, man, how you doing? And all of a sudden, boom, 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 I got hit, boom. And I just got bombarded. And I look around and there's all these acorns on the floor, all these acorns on the ground. I'm like, what's going on? And all of a sudden, I'm going to reenact this for you all, okay? This squirrel, okay, out of this tree in the distance, he jumps down, kind of like a slow motion, like Mission Impossible type of jump, He jumps down, he's like, he was wearing a beret and a pair of sunglasses. It was a little bit smaller. And, he comes over to me, and I'm just like, I was kind of backing away a little bit, but I was still really hurt from what he had done to me with the acorns. And he had this newspaper that he was reading, and he said, Kevin, I said, how do you know my name? He's like, that's not important. I said, Kevin? Darn it, Kevin. He's like, dag nabbit. You know, I'm up here in the trees, and, you know, I see all the stuff going on around us, you know, and sometimes it just makes me nuts. Okay? And I see these people that, you know, they think that they need to speak to thousands of people or walk 116 miles through Calcutta or have 10 million signatures, you know, to really make a difference. That they have to do this huge grand thing to bring about world peace. That world peace has to start somewhere in South America or Africa or some third world nation suffering from poverty, that's grief-stricken, that inequality is through the roof. He's like, that's all wrong, man. He's like, this world peace, it has to start here in your own community. It has to start inside your own homes. That we have no domestic violence. That we put an end to that stuff. That you can make a difference in your own community. That you can solve the inequality on the streets here. You can help a homeless person there. You can pay it forward. I was reading this article the other day about this Starbucks drive-thru out near Seattle. One person paid it forward, where they said, I'm going to pay for the person behind me. This continued 490 cars. 490 cars. Where some people were so excited about someone paying for them that they gave more money and put it in this pot so people that couldn't pay paid for those people's coffee. You can help out at a soup kitchen, Meals on Wheels, anything you want. I mean, mentor somebody, just be a friend to somebody. I mean, the peace has to start here. He's like, Kevin, I want to tell you a little story, okay? And at this point, I was a little freaked out because there's a squirrel talking to me, you know, and going on about all this peace talk. But he said, Kevin, there was this man, right around your age, you know, many years ago, he dreamed of changing the world, but he realized that the world would not change. So then he shortened his sights somewhat, and he tried changing only his country, but that too wasn't moving. So then he goes and he's just trying to only change his family. But they're like, no, man, no, I'm not having any of it. And finally, perhaps for the first time on his deathbed, he realizes that had he just changed himself first, that he might have bettered his family, bettered his community, and who knows, he could have changed the world. Me, being the change myself, setting the example, can empower other people to start leading the change and believing in themselves that they can do something. For example, a couple of my friends started a diversity column in the Michigan Daily, you know, because I sparked something there. You know, that one of my friends wants to start something to promote Latin American injustice. An organization on campus there. I mean, it's just, you know, seeing people, you know, starting a student peace alliance. I mean, empower other people. That's the most fulfilling thing you can do to someone. When it's peace related, it doesn't get much more better than that, you know. So, what's holding us back? What's stopping us from, you know, just being this change all the time and accepting everyone? And what it comes down to, and what I see in a lot of people, is that fear is stronger than love. Fear is stronger than love. That comment you hear sometimes, ignorance is bliss. It's true. For a lot of people, it's easier to be ignorant about someone else's beliefs and cultures than getting out of your shell and going to see, and, you know, getting into someone else's comfort zone and saying, peekaboo, you know, get inside that comfort zone and just kind of reaching these people. I mean, reaching out to someone, that you're breaking down these walls that are separating us every day. Mark 21 said, I never let my schooling interfere with my education. And coming from U of M, where, you know, still, and that's why I'm trying to promote so much community connection, especially in our community, and at any college, really. You have these groups, sometimes people come in with their same group of friends, same culture, whatever, and they choose to stay with that same group all 4 years. And I go up to them, I'm like, you guys are missing out on this whole other world, wealth of knowledge out there, by not seeing someone for who they truly are, getting to know someone that's different than you. And they're like, Kevin, I go to the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. This is one of the top 25 schools in the nation. I'm here from academics. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. That is true. But still, I feel that you are not experiencing that full potential of knowledge and growth by not getting out of your comfort zone. When I came to U of M, I had my world rocked. I mean, you know, just people, come from Southline High School, all-white high school, you're seeing people from every culture, religion, ethnicity, and just growing every day by meeting someone that's different than me, and, seeing where, yes, we are different, but that we are also very similar as well. A lot of us are going through divorce, or we're going through problems at home, or troubles in schools, that we all have these same issues, regardless of anything, any difference. I think the best weapon, that I've seen is the best weapon or tool against prejudice or racism is education. That if you can educate someone, create awareness that you both can reach a common ground, then that's how we can achieve peace. Can everyone do something for me real quick? Put your hands together like this. Just like, really, how you always do, okay? All right. Now, can anyone tell me what this is? This is your comfort zone. This is a habit. It's a habit, and that can be a dangerous place to be. Now, I want to ask you all to change your hand location and move everything up one, and then tell me how that feels. Just shout it out. Awkward. Awkward? Uncomfortable? A little weird? And what do you automatically want to do as soon as you go there? You want to go back to your comfort zone. We form habits every day. A lot of them can be judging someone, having these stereotypes in our lives. It's countless number of habits that we have. Just the other day, I was at my last basketball game of the season, right? And for those of you who don't know me, I have 2 bananas before every game, okay? So I got through my first banana, that was fine. I reached in my bag for my second banana, it was nowhere to be found. And so I thought, okay, that's a little awkward, a little strange. I just had my banana right there, okay, in a certain compartment. And sure enough, I'll reenact this as well. There's another player across the court. And again, out of my peripheral, I caught a glimpse of my banana. And some of you might be asking yourself, well, Kevin, there's a lot of bananas. It could have been anybody's banana. But you see, I know my bananas. I do. And he was eating my banana. He was peeling it. He's eating my banana. And so, very calmly, very collectively, I approached the young individual, and I just kind of was looking around and minding my own business. Give me that. All right? So I went back and finished my banana, and we still lost the game, but what are you going to do? And I think the reason we lost, too, is because half of it was eaten. So I needed the extra potassium for the last 5 minutes of the game and didn't have it. So I get back home to my apartment and putting my dirty clothes in the hamper and shuffling through my bag, and lo and behold, I found my banana. And it had slipped through a little hole in a pocket, and I felt terrible. So I found out the name of this individual. I'm going to buy him a bunch of bananas and a monkey, and deliver that to him after this talk today. But it's just another example of how we're so quick to judge, that unless you really walk in someone else's shoes or make an attempt, because a lot of people are like, you don't know me, you could never know me, you've never been through this. But, and that's true, there's a lot of things that I haven't experienced. But I can make an attempt to get to know where you're coming from, so that we can reach that common ground, that middle ground. One of my Indian friends, he told me about this story. There's this movie from India, and where he said it just pumps him up so much, because there's this scene where they're just fighting. These two sides are at each other against, in this big war. And this man is just fed up with all the violence going on. And he finally goes. These guys have knives to each other's throat, and they're almost ready to just kill each other. And he takes their hands, all right, pulls them apart. And these guys are like, whoa, what's going on here? He takes one of the knives. He slices one person's palms and the other person's palm. He puts them together. And he pulls them apart. And he says, "Can any one of you tell me whose blood is whose?" Right then and there, they both dropped their weapons. We aren't that different. I think what it comes down to, for this appreciation of diversity in every sense, and diversity is not just skin color, it's so many more things. It's political views, it's socioeconomic status. That if we can really recognize the worth in everyone, if you take a look to your right, if you look to the people to your right, or to your left, to the left, everything you own in the box to the left. All right, and really, see the beauty and appreciate the innocence in everyone and everything. You reach this level that, that if you can picture sometimes your mom and dad or your teachers as like when they were like kids, you see the beauty in everyone. And it really becomes a choice or an attitude whether or not you let the guy that's honking his car behind you nonstop when there's a no turn on red sign, you're at a red light. You have a choice of whether you let that or someone that passes you without care, that tells you that you're number one. If you have a choice of whether you let those types of things affect you, or that on the opposite end of the spectrum where you choose to send that person love, the international sign language for love, right there, that you send them some peace, because those are the people that are hurting the most. Like when I see that outlash, or when I see that, I'm trying to where is that person really hurting inside? How can I help that individual? And sometimes they don't want help, because we can love, only God can change. But to at least be able to show that love and appreciation is the first step. The Dalai Lama, His Holiness Dalai Lama, he said that we as human beings have a responsibility to at least try and make every effort towards the promotion of peace and inner values. And when I think about that all of us, have this responsibility, because I ask myself the question almost every day. I'm like, Kevin, why are you doing all this stuff? Like, why are you sometimes losing sleep over all these projects and visions and dreams you have for this more peaceful society and bring people together? And it's because, I'm doing something that makes me come alive, yes, for sure, but it's because I feel that I have a responsibility, that, I've been given these talents and gifts, and all of us have our own talents and gifts, and that if I was to just not do anything about it, just complain about the problem, not be part of the solution, then I'd be wasting, everything that my Creator has given me. The time, if we can get past all these barriers or roadblocks, if you want to call them that are stopping us from just living this change and leading the change, and get to this point where we are taking action, because the time is now to take action, then we reach this status in our lives where, we're all about giving of ourselves. It's no longer about us, it's about others. And that's where I'm at now. It's not about me, it's not about fame, it's not about anything. It's about giving what I have to empower other people. And you think about all these problems around us, the Virginia Tech shootings, the Georgia incident, these 9-year-old kids plotting to kill their teacher, or like the Virginia Tech shootings, the Nebraska Mall, all this stuff. You can get down really quickly about that stuff. You can let that stuff drag you, weigh you down, or it can be that much more fuel to your fire that you realize that you aren't guaranteed tomorrow. You don't know when your last breath's going to be. That you cherish everything, every minute that you have, and it's hard to do that because you get caught up in things. But take some time back every day to appreciate things. Last summer, I was at my apartment complex, and I was held up at gunpoint. And it was really a tough time in my life because, I had 2 pistols pointed at my stomach, and it was one of those moments that you didn't know if this was going to be your time. And the days, the weeks after that, I really started to count my blessings and, not taking anything for granted. Telling people I love them, that I care for them, that I appreciate them, that I value them. because none of us know. None of us know when our last breath's going to be. If you were to picture yourself at your own funeral, right? Okay? How many of you have been to a funeral? Show of hands. Everyone in the room, okay. How many of you have been to a funeral for someone that you think died at too young an age? How much are you? Her hand goes up. And I've been to some of those funerals too, you know, that I see 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 16-year-olds dying. Sometimes, you know, sometimes we say people that are 40 or 50 are too young to be dying, you know. If you begin with the end in mind, and you picture yourself at your own funeral, and you ask yourself, what do you want to be remembered by? Then you start to kind of refocus who you're being for this society and for this planet, who you really want to be. Not exactly what you want to be, but who you want to be. This is not in my resume, it's not the entire thing, but, you know, it has all these awards and accomplishments and, you know, let's go down and on of all people I've spoken to and, you know, lives I've touched, you know, and I mean, just all these more or less things, you know. And still, none of those really truly define who I am as a human being. You know, that if you let your awards and the things and the money and whatever it is define who you are as a person, peace isn't going to happen. Jimi Hendrix said it best. You know, he's like, when the power of love overcomes the love for power, the world will know peace. But if we can live simply so others may simply live, do we really need 52 rooms when some people on the street have no room? All these things I'm talking about, you know, I don't want you following me, you know, or even some of these, like Oprah or Dr. Phil or, you know, some of these great peace activist leaders even, but really think about the message. The message, not the messenger. If you were for what they stood for and stood for their values and you believe in that, then follow that. I'm 23 years old, and the other day, you know, because I'm 23 and who knows, you know, when my last breath's going to be, right? I saw a rainbow outside, and I decided I'm going to go see, just for the heck of it, what's at the end of this rainbow, you know? So I was planning on seeing like this little green leprechaun kind of pop up with his box of Lucky Charms and his pot of gold. But much to the contrary, you know, I got to the end of it, and I heard a voice. I said, Kevin, look behind me. It was Will Smith. It was Will Smith. He was standing there. Yeah. And I'm like, Will, oh, this is really unexpected. I didn't think I would see you here. And he's like, yeah, I hang out at the end of rainbows every now and then. And so he's like, Kevin, I got two things to tell you. He's like, one, taste the rainbow. Okay? Anybody like Skittles? He says, two, Kevin, he's like, man, if you've got something burning inside you, if you have this hunger for whatever it is, whether it's peace or empowerment or just helping people at a local level, at a national level, at an international level, if you've got this dream, because a lot of dreams fade. A lot of them fade. They get swept under the carpet. People get told that they can't do this and can't do that. But if you've got something burning inside you, make you coming alive, don't lose that. Hold on to that, man. Too many people I see in this society are dying to be alive. They're living, but they're not really living. And if you can find out what it is that you're called to be here to do, and you're leaving a positive impact wherever you go, that's huge. I mean, if everyone was doing what they were called to be doing, and were passionate about what they were doing and wanted to find solutions in whatever area and path that they chose to go towards, we'd be seeing a lot of these world's problems get solved a lot quicker. And he ended with, he's like, Kevin, man, if you're hungry for something, why wait? Snickers? So I want to close with this quote. And after Will left, Denzel Washington showed up. Yeah, he did. And I was overwhelmed by this point, you know, and he showed up in his football coaching uniform, you know, like the short shorts and the, you know, like the nice polo, and all of a sudden, the whole surroundings get switched to Gettysburg. Some of you may remember the Titans. So, Denzel, he asked me, he's like, does anybody know what this place is here? And I said, no. He's like, it's Gettysburg. This is where they fought the Battle of Gettysburg. 50,000 men died right here on this field, fighting the same fight that we're still fighting amongst ourselves today. This green field right here was painted red, bubbling with blood. Young boys, smoke and hot lead pouring right through their bodies. Listen to their souls, man. I killed my brother with malice in my heart. Hatred destroyed my family. You listen, and you take a lesson from the dead. If we don't come together right now, we too will be destroyed, just like they were. Thank you.